Center versus the PL to have just a great lane. So yeah, we'll see if Nouns is going to be able to deal with the pressure.
I mean, for sure, because that's the thing, right? For Nouns to pick this into that matchup, into that Lesh match up in the mid, that's going to show a lot of confidence from Gunnar. You don't do this unless you're 100% sure that it doesn't matter about the lane, you're still going to be able to pull the game out of the bag.
And I did hear, like, you know, Fear was talking about it. Yes, the immobile aspect of the Lesh could be the reason why they're looking at the Monkey King. But then I'm looking and I'm like, there's going to be a tree living armor, and then there's going to be Stampede as well to protect this Lesh in a lot of functions. So it does feel like Nouns has their work cut out for them. I do believe that the supports are going to have to be active, make those moves around. Could see perhaps the PL suffer because of it, but we'll have to see how it all kicks off. Should be fun.
For sure. Ready.
And are people going to be able to defeat the Spectre as we're seeing that this hero just kind of is just rolling through the games?
The battle begins.
Towards Chalice, but anything more here to throw out right now? Nouns, we'll see how things settle down with the lane situation. I mean, we're talking about the mid, looking at the side lanes. Any particular area of the map that you feel either side could start to struggle early on?
It depends on what happens with these support rotations, because they are absolutely going to start making moves early on, I'd imagine, from the side of Nouns with either the Ench or the Skywrath. So, I mean, Tide should be fine, I would say. As they were mentioning, versus the Spectre, we've seen this matchup a lot. I think the PL is the one that can suffer. So, probably these carries, as it tends to be the case, do start to get slowed down a bit when we see the patience. But we'll have to see. It all kicks off.
Yeah, what do you think it was about Nouns that kind of made them go for this direction where they did get that PL drafted, third pick in the draft phase?
He saw a game where there's not really much answers for the PL at all at that point, right? When he saw the actual game state. But then the Lesh comes out, and it's a totally different game at this point. Yes, you can build these Mage Slayers and pipes and whatnot, but it's still an excellent matchup for the Lesh at all times throughout this game.
But that's the thing, they must have anticipated that the Lesh was going to come. You don't think they forgot?
We'll have to see. I mean, if this is the concept that they had, if it's they were like, okay, if they pick Lesh, we're gonna, we'll have like this. I don't know. It just looks strange when you have this Monkey King. But Gunnar, you said, during the pubs and stuff like that, that's what he's been confident with. Just definitely not going to be an easy matchup for him at all.
No, I think a couple of the pub games that I caught him playing the mid Monkey King, he was in much easier situations, like a game against a Shaker,
like a melee.
Storm, even for these lower ranged heroes, you can do all right. But against a Lesh and against a Somnus Lesh, it's not going to be easy. And we're starting to see that already on the CS. Somnus getting the early advantage.
At least you can dodge a little bit, right? I guess that's the one thing about the melee matchup versus Lesh. When you're Monkey King, you have mischief, so you can always dodge a couple of these lightning storms and stuff like that. But yeah, it's always going to be advantage for Somnus, as we're seeing. And all three lanes, first few waves, definitely looking good for the Shadow of Azure. And that PL definitely is struggling. I think this is the lane I'm looking at, where K1, it might not even, Yamsun might not be able to actually leave up here. He might actually just have to stay up here for K1.
I think so, unless K1's just going to be forced out of the lane pretty early, and it's never fun to be in that sort of situation as a PL. It's going to take a lot of time for him to recover if he can't get much in this lane matchup against Chalice and Y.
No, absolutely. The thing about PL when you're playing versus Centaur, even before Centaur was this big of a beast of a hero, you have high base damage and you have explosive burst early, which for PL, it can always be a problem. And you have AoE control for the illusions and stuff like that as you get to the further aspects. Now we'll have to see what the recovery comes. Lanes, yeah, definitely look quite dominant.
Continue that way as well.
Yeah. But Moo's still going to have this good time, right? Because we've seen this so many times now. The Meteor Hammer rushes. He's going for what looks like a little bit more aggression. He's actually going for the boots early on. I think I've seen almost every time it's just straight ring right into that Meteor Hammer to apply pressure onto the tower, but I think that pays off.
Sure, I mean, because against the heroes, this Spectre tree lane...
Can't get aggressive.
I mean, you're not killing these heroes, right?
I guess maybe just to... It's curious.
Maybe, if anything, just to allow him the chance of running away. If Lo and Tianming actually get aggressive on towards Mu early.
Yeah, and then I guess if Lelis is making moves around the map too, he's got some way to escape too, but... Yeah, Spectre, 19 last hits, not really missing much of anything.
Yeah, it's pretty much free farm on all three lanes here so far for Azure Ray. Maybe part of the plan for Nouns, with this draft, do you think you're going into this game being like, you know what, lads, we're going to struggle in the lanes?
Probably, I would imagine so. Yeah. Even though the Spectre picked into the Tide Hunter, they probably look at that and they're like, yeah, this is good for the Tide, but the other two lanes, absolutely. We're seeing the repercussions. 19-6 up on Chalice. It's going to be a very early Vanguard.
Careful up top soon, the amount of burst that they could surprise the PL with. Be a little too much for K1 if he gets caught in that setup.
And they have a very early aggressive draft, the thing too. Besides this late game aggression that Azure has themselves set up for, the early aggression of taking towers is absolutely there, and collapsing on heroes super early with Spectre. They have the ways to make these moves very early on if they do get an early advantage in the game. And continue just going in their favor.
And for Nouns, a lot of pressure is going to be on Mu, rallying with his two supports to make the moves, because if Gunnar does want to go down this kind of Radiance Octarine route that we've seen him do so recently in the pubs, it's going to be a lot of greed, a lot of time that Gunnar and K1 need, and a lot of space in the map that Azure Ray might just not give them.
Yeah, I think Gunnar might have to take a step back, and maybe he does go down like that Mage Slayer weird, like Echo Saber disassemble Mage Slayer or something, so he has an answer for the Lash to enable his PL, but we'll have to see. Depending on how he feels about it right now, a lot of skill points saved up for Gunnar.
To see much movement. Paul's probably around that early power rune. So Sim will get some extra focus around the mid.
Chalice is going to have Vanguard done though, so they're going to be able to just leave this Centaur top, and I imagine they're going to match the rotation. At least with the Muerto already has early boots, they're probably going to look to make the match rotation, and they're probably going to expect it to come toward that mid lane as well too, so. Calm and quiet, 5 minutes, no kills.
Huge wave as well coming in from Chalice up top.
Yeah, that is.
Radiant's courier has been
No longer under any sort of threat on this top lane Chalice.
Feels like things are going to explode pretty quickly as soon as those level 6 come out. As soon as that Spectre's got this jump ready, definitely like to see a move happen. Somnus is getting closer and closer to 6 too.
Gonna try for the setup here, Lelis.
Gunnar's hit 6 first.
Somnus, caught by the ancient seal here. Backup coming in from Yamsun on the side. They've hit with the boundless strike, taking him down.
Nicely done.
Nouns, they're bringing the two supports. You get that very late on, 5 minutes in, first blood for Gunnar.
Perfectly done. And it's running the catapult wave with the Centaur, so they're actually going to get pretty significant amount of damage here. They didn't read the move.
I mean, where was the response? I feel like Azure Ray, they just didn't give any sort of help to Somnus there. They left him on an island completely on his own.
A really good hit. Look at this tower. I mean, that's
more than half the damage.
Somnus is going to come back in, but Gunnar, 31 and 6 match. Yeah, overall, looking good for him.
Very impressive hit.
PL is suffering, but the other two lanes looking pretty good. Boo is free farming. A really cool move.
Can't imagine they'll get away with that sort of play around the mid again. No. And next time, TPs are going to be coming in for Somnus, I'm sure.
But if they can finish this tower off in the next move, you kind of remove the factor of the tree that kind of scares things a lot of times with the living armor heal. So the fact that they got it this low off just one kill, pretty massive.
Moon looking super strong down here now. He's got his boots out as well.
And he's doing very different build than what we've seen. Collapse, we even saw him do earlier the same build of the Meteor Hammer. Mu going a different route.
Yeah, they'll group up and go for him. Somnus comes in with a rotation. Now let's go for Mu.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And in the meantime, they denied a rune. Yamsun actually with the Hellbear Smasher was able to get that one away.
Radiant's
so FY, not going to pick that one up. Some low-level supports perhaps coming out from the side of Azure. And they do finish off the mid tower. So 7 minutes in.
That's an early for a monkey.
Mid-monkey versus Lesh.
Against a Lesh.
That's pretty huge. And he's going to be showing his build. So he looks like he's going to be going down the Manta route. So playing versus the tree, he's going to be going for his own scaling build rather than just enabling the PL, who is slowed down. He is going to scale too. And Gunnar's getting active.
He is. He's turning himself here into a dire range creeper. Going to try and surprise this top lane.
I love when we see this from the Monkey Kings. It's just an unexpected gank.
I mean, Chalice, he's about a creep away from having the XP for level 6.
Oh, this is perfect.
No stamina available at the moment. They're going to full commit here pretty much. Backup comes in from FY, lays down the remnants. They're looking to turn, they're looking to burst.
Too many numbers.
They turn on a Gunnar, take him down. They might even get more level 6s in. Stampede's at the ready. Azure Ray, they punish the move here this time round from Nouns. As this time, they are very well ready for that move.
Looks perfect at first when Gunnar's coming in. Centaur not quite 6. Quickly gets turned. 5 heroes turn up. Spectre does hit the 6 as the go's happening. 4 earned charges instantly acquired. A blessing.
He's going to be able to have that sustain and that extra defensive output. Any other opportunities arise.
Strike back 4-1 now. Mid tower still was brought down very early on. Why? Perhaps in some trouble. Looks like he's getting trapped by a little tree ganking him.
Tries for the neutral deny, not quite able to aggro them in time. So we have Lelis, Gunnar and Lelis, they'll look to clean up that stack as well. Top lane,
K1 is
jungle.
He is really struggling, and they're putting so much pressure onto him. Spectre is able to get a lot more free farm now and can always join in too. That's the thing about this hero. always going to be able to jump in and perhaps get these extra kill setups onto the PL and find the real PL as well too with
Dyer's
this
top tower
dagger.
has fallen.
For sure, especially nowadays with this ridiculous low cooldown on the ultimate, 60 seconds. It's back up, he's ready to go again low.
It's going to be a slow recovery for K1, that is for sure.
I mean, for Nouns, are you going to be getting back on looking for aggressive moves, or are you just trying to sit back?
You probably still look to make aggressive moves with Gunnar. I don't think you want to just sit back. Yes, you have PL, but you're playing into this Spectre, and we've seen what this hero can do when you get farm. Even without farm, this hero's pretty insane right now. So I'd imagine we're going to see Gunnar still look to be active to get that space for K1. Otherwise, they can just put free pressure onto him.
Hello, he's getting involved again.
More and more.
Tianming finding Lelis in the jungle.
I mean, these supports are, the panel said it, right? These supports are going to struggle, especially if Spectre has a good start. It's always free kills onto Skywrath. Enchantress a little bit more difficult, but Sky is just food.
Dyer's middle tower.
And they have great scouting outlets. Like this Train Protector in particular with the Spectre is always going to give that info. Things slowing down a little. Gunnar is getting, maybe finishing up one item here, getting these neutral items picked up before he looks to get a bit more active.
Still holding on to the tier 1 mid very nicely.
Yep.
Nouns. A lot of damage being able to be done yet by Azure Ray on the push.
And then Moo's actually going to go down the Blade Mail route on the Tidon. So rather than going for pipe and damage mitigation and stuff like that versus the Lesh, I guess he's going for Lesh's uncontrollable damage. I'm just going to run into him and try to bring him down and stuff like that. We'll see if it works.
Low. Himself having the Blade Mail complete.
His is just standard. These Spectres. Very good game versus the Monkey King versus Skywrath as well too to have it. K1 is getting some time to slow down. So Midas pretty much going to be coming out here. And then straight into that Aghanims. I think this is the build that we see on PL when it's played. But it has yet to be played. This is the first game that we have for it, of course. So
tough starts expected.
Yep.
You're bringing out these carries. Haven't quite seen the play or success.
Yep. And you're playing into, you know, a meta that is quite good versus the PL in a lot of instances with these tanky strength offlaners that have ways to clear. And you're playing versus Somnus, who plays every hero under the sun, so the potential of that Lesh, they had to have known it was coming. Sure, they're the ones who actually want to be the ones to pace a little bit here. Somnus feeling strong.
Was under the observer though.
It was.
Nouns, they'll be aware of this one. Looks like the line's being drawn over towards Moo. It's a hard kill anyway. Obviously Nouns, they're aware that this is coming in, and if Azure Ray do try and force something around this bottom tower, high chance that Nouns could look to turn.
That doesn't feel like a very high value.
Kind of swept down bottom, but they're back over towards the mid. Looking towards Gunnar.
That's the big
maybe
kill.
with sort of the jumping and potential of low, they try something, but Nouns, they're playing careful with their positioning, and Lelis and Yamsun, they're there ready to help out if Gunnar is to get jumped around this port. Now that they know the smoke's one off for Azure Ray, Nouns, they'll look to hit back themselves.
They have to get the connection perfectly with the Ravage and Skywrath Mystic. That's their only real early setup unless the Monkey King is there to have it.
I mean, if they get the opening onto low, this should be a pretty clean kill.
Monkey King is also there, so he is sneaking around as that range creep right now, so see if they can find the angle onto him. The Blink is about to be finished up onto Chalice as well, too. This is a pretty prime time for Nouns to strike if they can 100 to 0 him.
He's going to show on the tower. DP's going to start to come in. They'll look to burst through the Spectre immediately with the setup of the Ravage into the Mystic Flare. That's been caught.
Still alive.
Out of there. They didn't have it. Low's perfectly fine. He's ready to turn. The dagger across. They brought down Gunnar. They'll take down Moo as well underneath the tower.
He lives.
Low survives. Yamsun also to fall here. Somnus catches it with the stun. Azure Ray. They put a complete stop to the attempt there from Nouns. They attempt to throw everything down onto low. They didn't do the maps fog. It wasn't enough damage.
Honestly, the Seeds of Serenity, not just the, you know, he gets 150 HP and health. He got it off actually on the floor before they actually got all the combo off, so he gets extra health regen and everything going. And they were quick to react.
I mean, that's gotta hurt, right? That was a big commitment from Nouns, and it gets them nothing.
Like, look, he's just standing under the heal. He has 22 HP per second, has a full wand, gets healed up, and then Stampede resets everything. They were very ready, and now they're going to likely get this tower. Gets denied. At least there's that silver lining there for Nouns. But that's their Ravage play, and they get completely turned on.
That's going to feel rough for Nouns.
It sure is.
Very much means that any sort of opportunity like that where they could maybe go for the Spectre, it's probably not happening again.
Oh my god, FY. He has an Atos already. Wait, what the? That is super early. Okay, well, extra forms of catch versus this Monkey King and PL and everything. Or it's gonna be potent. This is gonna be.
I mean,
strong.
you know, Gunnar, he's obviously still on the way towards the man, so he's not gonna have to dispel yet. So
this is gonna be very
Radiant's
annoying.
bottom
The fact that he gets it
tower
this
is under
early
attack.
on, and Muerto overall, when you're playing it as support, you're pretty squishy. Now you're not. 300 HP you get from it too. Problematic for them to bring down FY. Very farmy game it feels like it's going to turn into here for Nouns. Well, Azure, they can constantly look to make these punishing plays around the map.
I mean,
With this
K1,
Blink Centaur and everything, they can look to just keep making moves.
K1's making the recovery.
Okay.
Step, second highest, sort of in the top 3 at the moment on his PL.
What's he going to be able to do, though? Even if he does get the farm, because he's playing into this Lesh, this counter, he's playing into this Spectre, who's going to be able to get this Radiance build up also for PL, so we'll have to see what he's going to be able to, even if he gets to that farm. It does feel like they are starting to build up quite a bit of answers for him, even after that early game slowing him down.
They're going to find K1. They've got the set a bit with the Atos into the stun, the pushback of the fear. K1 get the double off.
Oh, overgrowth is late.
Yeah, but he's still taken down by the double edge of Chalice. Not a chance here for K1. Azure Ray making these moves, and we saw earlier for Nouns, and as it will continue to be, Azure Ray, their 3 cores, I don't think you're bursting any of them.
No.
If you even get this set up with the Ravage, the Mystic player, taking any of these 3 heroes right now down from 100 to 0, probably not happening, Bob.
And it's easy for them to make these type of kills happen with their Spectre, with their carry getting involved constantly. On the other side, on Nouns, feels like they really do need multiple different ults in order to try to get a setup of kill. And even then, sometimes they might not be able to have the damage to bring the game. Does feel like it's pretty complicated for the side of Nouns.
Farm's still solid for Moo. He's going to get very tanky very, very soon. 2,500 gold in towards the heart on top of his phase and blade mount.
Okay. They're getting tankier and stuff. I'm just worried, like, where's the damage going to start to come out from at some point to be able to bring these heroes down? Because as we saw there, the Spectre already tanked through everything once. There's going to be more layers of tankiness that comes in. Living armor, the Bloodstone's done on the Lesh already too, so they're definitely going to need, I mean, even when they have Aghanims, they're going to need that next +1 item on K1 before he's probably feeling comfortable at all to look to join.
Yeah, they're going to just have to try and stall it out.
Yeah, that's what it feels
And then
like.
whether that's going to benefit them against the lineup of Azure Ray, who knows, we'll find out.
We'll have to see. It really does feel like Radiant Spectre, right? Radiant Spectre versus PL feels pretty damn good. That was the farm looking for the support. Shard finished up on the tree.
Being able to hold onto their mid area that Azure Ray have bothered to put too much effort into pressuring.
Just it's hard for them. I mean, they're playing. It's them literally just playing the full farm game, though. It's hard for them actually to apply any pressure themselves. Try to slow down Spectre's farm, which sometimes can be. The problem with Spectre sometimes is if you don't get off to getting these early type of kills, that's where the hero can get slowed down. Your farm rate can be a little bit slower compared to a lot of other heroes, but they can't actually bring any action to low. And all these moves, he's just getting involved in. He's just getting bigger and bigger.
The early pressure attempts from Nouns just weren't successful, and at this point now they've just any attempt to make these aggressive plays whatsoever. So Azure Ray, they're getting to do whatever they want.
And they see Gunnar, the rotation. They have the ward bottom. It actually spots him making the move down. FY's already prepping.
He's straight out of there.
Yeah,
I mean, they know they can't fight into them.
And he does have the Radiance queued up, so it's going to take a very long time for that power peak to really kick in
it's the
for him.
plan. They just want to stall this out and see if this Monkey King
works.
and PL can scale to a point where they will have the damage to get the kills and to fight back against Azure Ray. It's going to be a lot of heavy lifting, it feels, from Moo.
From Moo in particular.
He's got to be there, he's got to survive on the front, he's got to hold these towers and stop Azure Ray from getting any early objectives.
He is tanking up. He does almost have a heart finish, but Centaur has his finished. And the thing is, he is going to be playing versus the Desolate, of course, as the game does go on. The more levels that gets put into that Spectre.
Right in here with the jump, now go immediately on top of Lelis. And with the Stampede, they'll look to see if they can chase down K1 as well. Doppelganger's there, and TP's coming into the tier 2. They won't be able to stay on top of the PL. That's a quick kill against Lelis. And this time around, the tier 1 will feel a bit of the heat here. Fortification will come out. Azure Ray almost certainly going to continue this push.
FY is actually also going down the scaling route. He's going to be going to Leipner. I mean, he's playing versus PL, and he's got a really good start, so why not? He got Grove Bow.
Yep.
I mean, he's definitely going to be able to turn into that tertiary or quad core kind of in a way with the farm that he's been able to get set up. And he is playing versus 2 Agicores. So if he's able to get good farm, also, yeah, he definitely will be a scaling hero as well. 10 to 2.
Fortified.
K1 gets out. But Yamsun,
he's not going to be as lucky. More than enough bursts here from the two of them, Chalice and Somnus.
You're a disgrace.
I like this build a lot. Somnus going for the blink as well too. I think they're feeling we have full control of the game right now. So if we can keep putting this pressure on, it should lead to success. Yeah, so far so good. Low. That's the Radiance done.
It's done.
It's so early. 19 minutes with Treads, Blade Mail, Earn being this involved in the game too. He's 9 out of the 11 kills.
This is pretty terrifying.
This is
not going to be an easy game for Nouns to play out.
Radiant's bottom tower
Difficulties
has
up.
been denied.
I mean, and Moo, he's tanky, but
Dire's middle
that
tower
tankiness
is
will
under attack.
disappear pretty quick. There's a lot of damage that's going to be coming out from the side of this, you know, this Spectre, this Lash as well too, so. A slow one we have.
Azure Ray, I don't think they mind that either. So that might be what Nouns are trying to do, slow the game down themselves. It's not something that Azure Ray are concerned about whatsoever.
No.
Happy to continue farming, get his Manta down on top of the Radiance. Of course, Somnus as well to continue to scale him and just become this incredible, unkillable beast on the left track.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Lelis, careful there.
it's got to happen at least once. Oh, not this time. It'll happen one of these days. We'll get a couple more people dying to the tournament.
I think they're on the hunt.
I mean, they're feeling incredibly strong. It really does feel like they can make almost any move so far. And they've gone all aggression. I actually didn't even see the tree build. 0 points living armor.
Go for Moo. See if they want to try anything with any sort of shadow step or something, but no.
Nah.
They won't waste any more resources trying to go for the tide.
That's how you get yourself killed. That's how you would potentially get Nouns back into the game if you do make a big all-in play onto the tide and he does get a good rev. He'll know better.
Radiant are scanning.
The Stim Rune.
Oh, is he going to build a deny it again? Oh,
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
There, yeah.
wait, he got it and it got denied.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
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 Same frame.
Anyway, moving on. Anyway, they're going to try and go for the move. They're with the Stampede, with his...
Is he dead?
He's gone.
He's gone.
Damage is done. They'll try and turn over towards Somnus.
He just walks out.
He's perfectly fine. Pretty much still full HP here on the left track. I mean, they're killing Moo. It's not a good sign for Nouns. This was meant to be the unkillable hero. I mean, Moo's fight was fantastic, but we're already at a point where Azure Ray, they can kill this Blade Mail hard Tide
Exactly.
Hunter.
They have so much damage on their draft, and they have a lot of ways to pierce through it, as we were saying, you know, the Spectre, the Desolate, and stuff like that. They didn't even need him. They just had the Lesh sticking on. And that was Ravage use too, so more downtime for Nouns where they just can't fight. Azure just continue to control absolutely everything. Getting bigger and bigger, scaling harder and harder. And the thing is too is, sometimes in these games, when the game does slow down a lot, we'll wait for a second is quick, easy kill.
Easy one. Doesn't get the last touch on it though. Tian Ming the one to take that.
Sometimes
getting involved.
Sometimes you can see some of these supports scaling quite a bit, like even for now, it's like the Enchantress, we've seen it scale a lot in these games, but this is not a game where an Enchantress actually is able to do the work of what we've seen Miposka and the likes do. You're versus a Spectre, you're versus a Leshrac who's gonna eat you alive. So they're not really scaling too much on these supports either. You said on Azure, the supports are scaled. The Lightning is pretty much done on FY.
Gonna be one of the faster ones you'll see on a
4 position.
support Muerta.
Probably one of the only ones you'll see as well too. I think we've seen only the Aether Lens Atos.
No, not in my pubs.
Fair enough.
Radiant's progress at the moment for Gunnar. He's about 2,500 in onto the relic. Still needs time.
Oh boy, it's taking a long time. And now pace kicking up even more. Quickly into that Roche. No way the Nouns is going to be able to contest this either. How long on the Ravage? 30 seconds.
Even
with it.
Barely leaving their half of the map right now.
And even, yeah, they can't even set up for Somnus stop. He's got a BKB finished up too with an Arcane Rune, so they just have to kind of let this one happen. And it's freedom for Azure to choose what they want to do next.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Right in the way of a challenge there, that Aegis.
Okay, interesting.
No up top that tree around here.
He's just got, but he can just get any solo pick off. If he sees the Skywrath,
The setup can be there.
Lelis, run, my friend. No dust though, actually, on the tree right now. So Lelis actually does have a Glimmer Cape, so he would have been okay. But either way, You can see what he's trying to do with this tree, as he's been doing the last 10 minutes since he's got the shard.
Scanning.
He's just scouting for solo pickups with the Spectral.
K1, he's
He's
farmed.
getting big. It's just,
But how much can a PL do this game?
yeah, how much he's going to be able to do versus the Lash. We see the next big item coming, the Mage Slayer. That was the answer, especially from Tundra when Wraith Pact and stuff existed, to have the answer versus the Lash when you have Illusion heroes, but times have definitely changed. Not effect anymore.
On here, with his boat underneath the tower. Chalice, he's ready to set up.
Come on,
The boundless strike, the dead shot, and the double edge.
Deleted.
Leaves Yamsun up. Azure Ray, they can get the push onto the tier 2 tower now. And maybe even more around this Aegis on
Dire's
Chalice.
middle tower is under
Chalice having a
attack.
flawless game so far. Top of the net worth, 407, has his shard now with his heart. He is a menace.
Pretty crazy. I mean, out
Dire's
farming his
middle
own
tower
Spectre with
has
his
fallen.
good rate timing on a Radiance.
They're all, like, all
Shows
three
how much
cores.
Chalice is getting.
They're all so farmed and so tanky. The damage for Nouns, it's just, it's slow. It's not like this big burst damage. Even though they have Skywrath, their burst damage is not really there. It's long, gradual fights, which at this deficit, with what they're up against,
Dire's top tower
feels
is
harder and
under
harder as
attack.
the game progresses.
And it feels as well that even sort of the high ground defense situations, it's not like Azure Ray are lacking heroes that would be happy to just dive past the barracks, dive past
Radiant
tier
are
3s,
scanning.
and look to go aggressive.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Ooh.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Bound to happen. You're split pushing like this.
Yaming with the information, look, ready to jump across. Somnus able to make sure that move, not a chance of escape. Another kill here for Low.
Top of the net worth again for him. It really does feel like it's been 20 minutes of just mostly dominance. Besides that mid play that happened, right, so long ago, the little mid play that they did to take out the tower, it's been everything for them. They're coasting.
At least they had that nice first.
At least
blood.
they got
That's
the first
something
blood.
for now so far out of this game, but everything else go Azure Ray. Ray's way.
They may have even also gotten one of the earliest mid-tier 1 towers,
Oh, they did, yeah.
I feel like. It was 7 minutes in. Exactly. But that's
Dire's
a long time
bottom
ago.
tower
Long time.
is under attack.
20 minutes ago, and those last 20 minutes have been pretty painful for Nouns.
another target spotted.
They're on to Gunnar, not a chance.
Deleted in seconds.
Another kill for Low, more money for the Spectre. 4-0-10.
He hasn't even gotten another neutral item. He's still using Seeds of Serenity.
Did him so well against that early gank down bottom. Quite fond of it now.
Yeah, why not? Radiance continues to get slowed down more and more as the map dwindles. And FY continues to scale. Gleipnir done, going for more scaling as well too. Full freedom, and the warding as well too has been phenomenal. Didn't get to touch too much on that from Azure, but they've really just covered pretty much all the entrances. Besides having a tree, scouting everything out, and getting all these pickups to the Spectre, they just have ward vision everywhere.
Dire's bottom
Didn't pick up
tower
a straight
is under
Kaya
attack.
Sanj on Chalice.
I mean, why not? He absolutely can continue to scale versus this PL, and they're right now staring at
K1?
K1.
Dire's bottom
Hello?
tower.
I mean, they got him.
Goodbye.
Caught outside of the base.
Still no
Don't know
Manta.
what's going on there. Maybe hands off the keyboard.
Dire's structures are fortified.
But that's indeed a tip. Yeah, Yamsun was just eyeing him up, and K1 was not
Dire's
prepared at
middle
all for
tower
that.
is under
They're
attack.
into the base. The tier 3 tower in a lot of trouble. And maybe Nouns as a whole in this game one.
Maybe back to the drawing board a little bit with what they're up
Dire's
against.
middle
Azure just
tower
feels like
has
they got
fallen.
everything they wanted, and so far it's been as clean as it comes. Besides that, like 7-minute move, everything else has been
middle
absolutely
barracks are
perfect.
under
Yeah,
attack.
still no Manta for the PL, so it's a free setup.
Dire's
Brax is
middle
gone.
barracks has fallen.
Probably talking about the next game.
Dire's
think
top
so.
tower is under
And
attack.
at the least, you know, as you were saying, and as the panel was saying, right, a lot of stuff from the
Dire's
draft of
structures
Nouns
are fortified.
did seem a little bit sort of outside of the box. So definitely things that they can maybe go back to what they were doing in the root stage. And we
Yes.
saw earlier in this run here on the road to the International that did do them so well.
Yeah, I mean, it is the first PL as well too, right? So maybe wanting to try something out here a little bit too, and they did, you know, they did pick that tough matchup perhaps for Gunnar that so he did very well. Yeah, I wasn't seeing the repercussions of what happens afterwards here. So, I mean, the lead just continues. It's getting massive. And this, okay, so what, Manta is even going to finish the Manta? I'd imagine he is. So Manta PL plus Radiance on Gunnar. This is, I mean, they have to try to make something. Otherwise, it feels like you're going to just lose.
But K1,
They got to find a fight.
try and turn this around here. They're bringing in the numbers, but already the jump in on towards Yamsun. Yamsun's gone, and Lowe's going to turn over towards K1. They're trying to bring down Chalice. They'll drop the ravaging point.
They can't kill him.
He's having a run. K1 will get out of the fight. Chalice being fully focused, but he's still got so much HP to play with. They can't finish him. He's walking back into the Wukongs. He doesn't care at all.
F1's killing Gunnar.
2 dead on Nouns. The shot as well, putting
No
a stop
way.
to Moo's TP out. You cannot escape this Azure Ray, as Moo is surrounded by the squad. A third kill's found. Nouns get
Dire's
nothing.
bottom tower is under
It's
attack.
what they probably feel like they have to do, because this game, it's been feeling like this for a long time. It feels very over. They just do not have the damage. They do not have the farm. Everyone's too big. Chalice, he actually tanked the entire anchor. He didn't turn and kill the anchor. He stood in the anchor. They couldn't bring him down.
He didn't care.
Did not care
He started to
whatsoever.
walk away, and then he was like, you know what, I don't even
Wait a
need
minute.
to walk away. I'm walking back in.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom barracks are under
Turns the
attack.
anchor against them. Another Rax to drop.
Dire's bottom
All
barracks.
heroes on Azure full HP. And another
And
dash.
they're ready to go in for more. Jump forward
Is falling.
on towards Yamsun. 22 to 2, 24k lead here, 29 minutes in.
They're ending this.
Dire's top tower is
They're not
under
leaving this
attack.
base anytime soon, Azure Ray. They're ready
still
to close
full.
this one up.
Everyone's still full HP. They have ult too. They have tree ult. Stampede's up in 20.
Dire's top tower
No
has
damage from
fallen.
Nouns to push them away.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
It's going to be mega creeps at the
Dire's top
least here.
barracks has fallen.
Up against Nouns. Don't have the Ravage.
Dire's top barracks has fallen. The Radiant
The
now
mega
have
creeps are out.
creeps.
And nothing to be done here by Nouns. Somnus.
He's just in.
He's ready to get aggressive, just jump straight back in on them. He's got the BKB ready if necessary. Popping the Bloodstone, and now the BKB's out. Gunnar, lay down the Wukong's command low. He's just straight in on top of him. They jump forward over towards Gunnar. They've glimmered him up. So Gunnar's surviving a little bit longer, but still the Radiant's burning him down. He'll still fall. Gunner's out of the game. No buyback on him. Yamsun to fall yet again. As this game should soon and shortly be over. The buyback will come out from Yamsun, but let's just say there's no buyback for Gunnar. The Lightning is down there for him by catching the two. The Mystic Slayer coming out in return, but it just doesn't do any damage at all. As they'll lose Yamsun again. 4 dead. Game's over. GG is called.
Ooh, back to the drawing board.
Absolutely.
Dire's middle
Yeah.
tower is
In
under
a very
attack.
literal sense, the draft, it did not work out here for Nouns. From the laning stage onwards, nothing really outside of that first blood went their way, Fog.
No, this was
Dire's middle
flawless
tower
play
is
really from the side of Azure.
victory.
Yeah, I mean, it really did feel, right? That 7 minutes and then that play bottom, they tried to make that move.
Yeah, that was-
3 or 4 heroes die and then, yep. This was a tough one for Nouns.